Just a little bit on the side of your protein, about a quarter of a cup. And the meal is ready to be served. Hello and welcome back to our homestead. Today I'm in the kitchen because the pickling and fermenting season is upon us. We are harvesting a ton of beautiful produce from the garden, including this beautiful Napa cabbage, and I'm going to be preserving it today. Most people, when I say fermenting Napa cabbage, everyone automatically thinks about kimchi. But not everyone likes kimchi because kimchi is usually spicy. Not many people in my family enjoy spicy foods. Therefore, I'm going to be preserving it by fermenting, by creating natural probiotics loaded with natural fiber. I'm going to be making non-spicy, whatsoever non-spicy, but with a little bit of zing to it, but without hot pepper. I'm going to be fermenting Napa cabbage, okay? And it's going to be my style, very much my style of kimchi. So, my friends, if you're watching this and you are expecting kimchi recipe that you usually see, that's not going to be it. I'm going to be creating my own version, my own recipe of non-spicy kimchi. All right, I shouldn't even call it kimchi. It's probably because it's not going to be close to kimchi. All right, so what I did was I went in the garden and I harvested a bunch of stuff that's actually in season right now we have, except with one exception. I ended up getting some ginger from the store and salt. Everything else is from my backyard, from my own garden. See, fermentation, yes, there are recipes for fermentation, but really it should be about things that you like, things that your family likes, and implementing ingredients in a recipe should be what you guys like. So today, as I'm making my version of kimchi, I'm going to be mentioning of substitutes that you possibly could consider, ingredients that you could consider including in your recipe. So let's start making this delicious, non-spicy, my version of kimchi. Okay, so here are the ingredients. Well, obviously we're gonna need Napa cabbage, and I have a bigger one and I have a little one. They're washed, made sure that there are no bugs inside, no dirt inside. They're fully washed. And then the rest of the ingredients are quite optional. Everything should be optional, but this is the things I'm going to include. Well, I'm going to be including some fresh garlic. I just harvested garlic from my garden. So I'm going to use 3 cloves of garlic. Then I'm going to be using some ginger. And you can put more ginger, but I'm going to put a very small piece. This is probably an inch or so of ginger, and that's it. Then I just harvested some leeks, and these are 2 leeks from the garden. I just picked up, washed them. They are ready to go. I'm going to be using them. Instead of leeks, you can use onion. And these are garlic scapes. Let me tell you about these garlic scapes. These are not regular garlic scapes. I planted some seeds of garlic into the ground just for research purposes, just as like a little trial and to see what's going on. And they've been sitting in my garden for 2 years doing absolutely nothing. And this year, all of a sudden, they made these shoots that coming out of their plants, and they are nice and sweet to bite. They have very mild garlic taste. But what I'm saying is that garlic scapes can be used in this recipe as well. Also, you can use scallions in this recipe as well. And then I like to use a little bit of greens, and this is parsley, regular parsley from the garden as well, nicely washed. And that's pretty much it. The other option that you could put in here is sliced apple or a pear. They can also be added here as a nice little crunch. We're obviously going to need salt. And I'm using very coarse sea salt, just like this. I like to use coarse sea salt, not iodized salt. I do not use iodized salt in fermentation. It can interfere with your fermentation. And then we're going to get clean water. We use well water, but make sure that it's clean filtered water without chlorine. And everything is going to be fermented in a glass container. all of my fermentation takes place in a glass container. Okay, so let's start making this. I'm going to be cutting, chopping lots of things, and mixing everything in a large bowl just like this, because it's very easy for me to work in a large bowl. Okay, one thing I've mentioned is that most people, when I say kimchi, everyone expects that reddish color, very spicy kind of fermented food that goes very well on the side of so many dishes. It can be served with eggs, it can be served with meat, with rice, it can be served with so many things. But let me tell you, not many people enjoy the spiciness. And also I find that kimchi is always cut into these gigantic pieces that I personally do not enjoy. I like when my kimchi is sliced in smaller pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut this in manageable bite-sized pieces. I do not enjoy, so I'm just grabbing a knife and I'm going to cut across, okay? And then I'm going to cut across again. So basically I'm slicing this, okay? And I'm just running the knife across. And now I'm going to cut everything into bite-sized pieces, because I find it totally unmanageable to grab kimchi that sometimes you see being sold at the markets or farmers markets or the grocery store. It's just way too big for me. I don't like it. I like it a little smaller. See what I mean? I like them to be smaller, manageable, okay? And then everything goes into a large mixing bowl where we're going to be mixing all of the ingredients together. So I have lots of chopping to do. I'm not making a very big batch today. It's kind of small batch. I usually cook a whole lot more all at once. But today is just a small batch of Mama Lil's version of kimchi. The next thing I'm going to just slice garlic, and I like to slice them rather than shredding them on or using a garlic press, because I do actually enjoy a slice of fermented garlic. See, and I'm just gonna throw them right into this mixture, all in the middle of it. Okay, you can chop it even smaller if you like, so there is no big bites. But see, fermented garlic really does not have that pungent taste like fresh garlic would, because see, it will be fermented. So all of these wonderful benefits of garlic as far as the antibacterial, antiviral, all these wonderful immune supporting properties will be released. And at the same time, it is a natural fiber that we absolutely need for probiotic to work. See why? Oh, I love the little piece here. Why I love fermented foods. See, it's not because it's delicious. There's so many benefits to that. One of them is that the fact that fermented foods, see, all of this is going to be mixed together. Fermented foods have probiotics, variety of probiotics. And by having these probiotics in the food itself, that means the fiber is there as well. See, probiotics need to consume fiber to multiply. Okay, that's why sometimes you'll see probiotics sold with a prebiotic. That's a prebiotic is a fancy name for fiber. Okay, that's all it is. It means fiber. Again, I'm throwing everything in here all together. It's going to be mixed in all together. Okay, so it's a fancy word for probiotic, prebiotic. It's all synergistically together. So just think about. So I've decided that I'm only using the white part, the green part. You can also add, by the way, but I don't think I'm going to, at least not in this recipe. What do you think? Should I add it? Should I not add it? You know what? I think I'll add it. It's very fresh. I just pulled it out of the garden, washed it, trimmed the roots off. Okay, so this is all going straight in here. Beautiful. All going in here. Yeah, let's add the green parts as well because they're so fragrant and so soft. So I'm just gonna slice them in half moons very thinly because we don't want big chunks. Remember, I told you that I like when my fermented vegetables are all in a manageable size on my plate. Okay, everything goes in here. So far, a lot of green colors, huh? It's going to be very green kind of themed thing. Okay, so then I'm going to just go ahead and use my shredder, and I'm going to shred the ginger. Okay, because we want a little ginger taste, but we don't want it to overpower. You guys are absolutely welcome to gauge your own desires, your own taste, and add more. But ginger is fantastic for anti-inflammatory. It's fantastic during a cold and flu season. It is so, so good. I just want to make sure that my entire little inch gets in here and brings that goodness to my kimchi. As you've noticed, it's very non-traditional at all. So then I'm going to start working on my garlic scapes, if you want to call them that way. They are really just the green parts that see it's about to go into a seed like that. And I tasted one while I was in the garden, and it has a very nice mild taste to it, and it's slightly sweet. So I think it's going to add a really nice addition to my kimchi. Again, I'm not cutting very big pieces. If you like your kimchi to be in very big chunks, by all means, please cut it in big chunks. But this is my method. This is how I like it. Okay, so I think this is good enough. I'm going to put that in here as well. It's going in here as well. Okay, so all of my aromatics are all here. Okay, then I have just a small pinch of parsley, fresh parsley, and I love to add parsley because it's one of those bitter green herbs that adds to digestion, and it also has beautiful fiber. Okay, it's all about feeding that probiotic, so it's going to be fantastic. It all goes in here. Again, if you like to add more, by all means, we can add more. But in my case, this is it. I'm not going to put any more. Okay, so everything is in here, right? And we can now massage it a little bit. My hands are very clean. And all I'm doing, I'm just kind of breaking it up a little bit. I'm just going to massage it just together, just like this. Okay, just smoosh it around. Oh, this piece a little too big. Break him in half. Okay, just massage it a little bit, okay? I'm not adding any salt just to this, just yet, nothing. And notice I have not put any other spices. This is it, okay? Let me now clean my hands a little bit, I think. Next thing, we need to push all of this wonderful cabbage mass into a glass jar. And this is a big jar. This is almost 2 quarts jar in here. And I'm going to be pushing this all in here, okay? I put a large plate underneath because I know I'm going to be spilling. I know I'm going to be making a mess. So that will make it easier for me to pick it up. So right now, see how it's like taking too much space almost? Okay. Have you noticed I haven't put salt in it yet? Don't worry, I did not forget. Salt is coming. So I have a wooden spoon, and I'm just going to push it to the bottom to create more space. Okay, it's going to break it up a little bit, and it's going to create more space. Okay, let's keep on filling it up to the top. And again, I'm going to use my wooden spoon, and you can use anything you want because we want to push it to the bottom. So I'm hoping I have enough space. I often tend to misjudge my vessel and picking too small of a vessel. Okay. I'm going to pound a little bit more. Because I want to make sure that I can get as much as I can in here. Couple of things I want to mention about the vessel. Yes, I do not use plastic when I ferment. So I try to use either stone, like the special crock, like for fermentation, and I have one of those large ones that I use, or I use glass jar. I use glass jar. I do not use anything plasticky, okay? Some people even use stainless steel metal. I just don't have a container like that. So I find that that's unnecessary. I like to look at my fermentation when it's like this. Hopefully I'm not overfilling it. I think that's it. I think I've reached my limit. I think this is it. Let me see. I think that's it, my friends, because it's going to, I don't want it to bubble over too much. All right, that's it. So now, next thing, I have to work on a brine. Yes, my friends, I'm using a brine to ferment my vegetables. It's my favorite method of preserving by fermentation is by making a brine. So let's make a brine. Okay, to make a brine, I take a quart jar, which is 1,000 milliliters, and to that, I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons without a hill, 2 tablespoons of salt. Like I said, you can use any salt, but preferably without iodine. And then this is hot water. I'm just going to add, I don't know, maybe 1/4 cup on the bottom, just like this, because this is going to help me to dissolve the salt. And I'm just going to swish it around, mix it around in it's not boiling water, just hot water. And it's going to help me to dissolve the salt a little bit better so it's distributed throughout my fermentation nice and evenly, okay? So it's almost all broken down. Okay, so now to this, I'm adding cold water. We have well water, but if you guys don't have a well, I suggest using filtered water, but definitely without chlorine. Some people put tap water in a container, leave it overnight, and chlorine evaporates, and they say that works. I don't have to do that myself because, like I said, we have well water without chlorine or fluoride. Okay, so that is nicely all dissolved. And now, my friends, this is what we do. Now we're going to be pouring the brine all over this cabbage until it fills every nook and every cranny. Okay, I'm going to be pouring it slowly, not to overfill. Okay, it's filling up all the nooks and all the crannies. Bubble, bubble, bubble. It's filling it up. It's almost done. Almost done. That's it. It's done. So not the entire quart was used, and it's okay. So now what's important is that all of this is under a brine, because if any vegetable is sticking up in the air, it's going to have a chance to go bad. So I don't have an airlock covering. If you guys have one, this is the time to use it, because see, that will allow during a fermentation, when the bubbles begin to create in here, it will give a chance for the bubbles to escape. I don't have one of those fancy airlock covers. If you guys want to send me one as a gift, I would love it, but I don't have one right now. So what I do is, this is what I do. I take a cover and a lid, and I don't cover tightly. I just put it on and loosely cover. That's it, loosely cover, okay? So actually, let me clean this bowl real quick, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do next. Okay, now I'm gonna put this jar right in the middle of this plate. I like to throw a towel over just like this, okay? And I'm gonna keep it in my kitchen on a counter, just like this. Okay, so now this jar is gonna go sit in my special place in a corner of my kitchen, where I keep all of my fermentation going on. The kombucha, the cucumbers are fermenting right now, zucchinis, other things, they're sitting fermenting, and that's where I like to keep this as well, away from the sunlight. The sun is not the friend. So that's why I even like to throw a towel over, just to make sure that there is no light on it. But also because I don't want any flies, little fruit flies, to get in, because fruit flies love fermented things. Okay, so this is what's gonna start happening. Room temperature, it's the summer months, so it's hot. It's 70s and 80s degrees in my kitchen right now. And that means this fermentation is gonna start taking place. The salty water keeps the bad bacteria down, but it allows lacto-fermented bacteria to start thriving. And we're gonna start seeing bubbles forming all over here, especially if I come and I take the cover off, just like this, and I tap on a jar. I'm gonna see all these bubbles come up, okay? And I'm gonna do that few times a day, because in about 2 days, my version of kimchi is about to start. We can start tasting it. It's not going to be ready just yet, not at all. It takes several days. For my taste, it takes about 5 to 7 days for that real fermented taste to take place. For some people, it's 3 to 4 days. It's enough. So what I mean is that on the second, third day, start tasting it. Take a little fork and taste a little bit. But every time when you taste, make sure that you don't reuse the same fork and accidentally bring bad bacteria in there. Okay, so keep it clean. Also, make sure that all of these vegetables are always under the brine line. You don't want it to be sticking up above. And the reason why I put this plate underneath is because my experiences taught me that I don't want to make a mess in a kitchen. What happens sometimes is that all this fermentation, all this bubbling may overspill a little bit. And I want it to be contained in a plate, because I can come over there, clean my plate, put it back on, done. And my counters are nice and clean, okay? Because like I said, once this fermentation starts taking place and all these bubbles start happening, it's a fantastic little experiment. The kids love it. Okay, so after 3-4 days, I'm gonna start tasting it. I'm gonna allow it to sit on my kitchen counter, probably about 5 to 7 days. And then after that, I'm gonna put a lid on and I'm gonna put it in the fridge or in a cold place, like a root cellar where it's cold at night, where it's cold, right? Because now the cold temperatures in the refrigerator will stop the fermentation, or at least it's gonna slow it down almost to none, okay? And then, my friends, the kimchi is ready for consumption. It's a wonderful way to bring digestive enzymes into your life. It's a wonderful way to bring natural probiotics into your life. Just a little word of caution. If you have never eaten fermented vegetables before, please start slow. I'm talking about a tablespoon at a time. Because it's so delicious, you're going to want to eat more than that. But your GI system may not be ready for it. So some people get gassy, bloated, and even diarrhea. That's why I said start slowly, and then you can increase to your liking. Okay, so on this note, this is my recipe, and I make up recipes all the time. If I had a green apple right now, it would have been in here, but I don't have any because it's not the season. Okay, if I had fresh radish in here, growing in my garden, it would have been in here, but it's not the season. Radishes were done in the spring. Right now it's July. So fermented Napa cabbage can be done in so many ways, not just the spicy kimchi way. So I hope you friends are encouraged to eat fermented foods. Bring health back into your life. Bring health back to your GI system, because remember, 80% of all of our immune system is in the gut. So let's fix it. Let's feed it the good stuff. On this note, friends, I hope you are encouraged and try something new. And here's my homemade, my version of non-spicy kimchi. The best way to serve this, oh, smells so good, is with a little bit of fresh onion on top, because that's how my mama used to do. And look at this. It's perfectly fermented. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of fresh slices of onion, just a few, and this is how my mama used to do, and top everything off with a little bit of fresh, delicious olive oil. And my friends, this is ready to be served.